Hey Violas, this is part 4 and the final lesson for Ventus by Todd Parrish. So good job getting all the way to this point. We just have a couple lines left of the song. So we're going to start at 67 and go to the end. This is the coda. And starting off with just some whole notes. So using vibrato, watching out for your high 3 on the C string. When you get to the divisi, or the double stops G and C, you can feel free to play open strings, double stops there. And then double stop again at 73 if you want. Put your first finger down with your open C, or just play one note or the other. It doesn't really matter. All right, so let's just do 67 through those whole notes and the half note. We'll stop before those eighth notes there. All right, so starting on your open G, just count into an easy 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so just a little bit of a crescendo there, starting piano and ending up mezzo forte. All right, so we've gotten through that point. Now we're on to our spiccato eighth notes. Now, as I wrote in your parts, it says off the string. So remember, spiccato, we're going to be bouncing rather than staccato, short and sticking to the string. If bouncing is difficult right now, don't worry about it. You can just do it on the string, and that's something I can help you out with in person. But to bounce, remember you want to find that balance point of the bow. So right where bow balance like that. So a couple inches below the middle, a couple inches above the winding there. You want to tilt your bow, stick away from you just a little bit so it's at an angle. And if you're in that right spot, it should bounce nicely for you. So experiment a little bit on some open strings. But then once you're ready, here's how the notes go there. So we're going to start on a low one, actually, a D sharp. Then make a big stretch to your F sharp, step and a half. Then A. So easy notes right there. But we are also doing a crescendo through that. And it's kind of hard to get loud while you're playing off the string when you're bouncing. So what you're going to do throughout those two measures is gradually even work the bow a little towards the middle, a little heavier pressure. You can use a little bit more horizontal motion to get a louder sound, and then nail that fortissimo at 77. Okay, so let's try these eighth notes, and we're going to go from 77 to the end of that line. So here's measure 75, D sharp, low 1, 1 and 2 and ready, and. Okay, so that's that next part. Once you've got that under your fingers, now we just have one last line to do. So as you've noticed, I wrote in again for your last line those eighth notes with a slash. That means to do 16th notes. You're doing 2 of every note you see. So to do this slowly for a second, you're going to do 4 E's, 4 G's, and you just alternate like that. Measure 2 is the same, or the second measure of that line is the same. And then we switch from just a 1 on D, and then your last 3 quarter notes, and short bows for those. So let's try 81 to the end, just these last few measures. Last line, 16th notes. Here you go, about 1 E and a 2 E and a ready, and. And it's good to keep a metronome on during this too, because it's easy to lose track of what beat you're on. And it's also easy to lose track of how fast those chord notes at the end are going to be. So if you're thinking 1 E and a 2 E and a 1, 2, 3, they're going to be slower than you think. All right, so now in the recording, when I do the chord equals 116, that ending is actually really fast. It really flies by. So take a few times through it to get it up to. I think that's about close. We'll see. All right, so let's do for our final step, 67, all the way to the end without stopping. Again, at a slower practice speed, and then I'll let you on your own go back and start speeding that up to performance tempo. All right, so here's 67. About 1, 2, 3, 4. And as always, if you have any questions or you're struggling with any parts, please email me or set up a lesson with me. But then after you've gotten this coda down, go back and do the whole thing. So take it back to the beginning, play it through with the recordings, and see if you can play the entire piece.